Hi Geminis, and welcome to your June 2020 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to talk about the energies coming in for your month. Welcome, I hope that you are doing well. This is your time of the year, Gemini, so congratulations for making it. I hope that you are starting to feel more creative and more energetic as you get a new solar deposit, having a solar return. Happy birthday to those of you aging up here. So yeah, June of 2020, I've given you a nice watery background because we're moving towards Cancer season, and I think that that's a really nice thing to look toward, as I think Cancer season especially is going to be really nice for you. I kind of feel like Gemini has a lot of friction and a lot of things that were hard to deal with that might come up in early June, and I think that you have wonderful luck and wonderful ability to overcome it and move forward. But it does feel like this solar return for you, Gemini, is really demanding a huge level up and a huge overcoming of any difficult cycles that you were caught in for a long time. I really feel that your headspace is leveling up this year during your time of the year. I think that this is a new outlook, a new positive, optimistic injection of creativity, and a kind of a reality check for you as well about the direction and the momentum and how to become happier. You will really start to understand your surroundings better this month, and you will really start to not feel so inhibited or weighed down by them. It really feels like it gets lighter, and I think it's difficult at first. I think there might be a bit of a wake-up call or a bit of a reality check that you don't really enjoy early on in June. I mean, I think early June is going to look really nice for you, but you're demanded really quickly to just rise above something or overcome something or disconnect or detach just a little bit from even some type of obsessive tendency as well. I could see that really healing up for Gemini. Any type of OCD or compulsive tendencies are really going to lighten up and perhaps dissolve for you this month, which I think is beautiful. You're also really going to figure out how to get out of constraints and how to spend your energy more wisely. You've got 10 of Wands and 8 of Swords coming up in your reading, so there is something that you might be working too hard on, and it's just kind of boxing you in, or it's just kind of keeping up a certain normal, and your mission is to overcome that and to feel like you are celebrating your life and feeling like you are living a life that is really spectacular, actually. And I think that your time of the year this year is going to be all about just kind of understanding who you are and your essence as a person, really aside from the people around you. And so basically not having to use or require people around you to see yourself. You know, Geminis might kind of be really by themselves or to themselves more so, especially as we move toward Cancer season in July. And of course, we have a bit of Cancer season at the end of June. So you will see that you have more opportunity to know just yourself, Gemini. And if that's kind of worrisome, I think that you have to make it happen and allow perhaps some alone time or solitude, just to not be afraid of yourself or not worried about yourself. Watch out for overcompensating through other people or overcompensating through the need to connect, because I'm not seeing that a lot for you. You might not feel like you're able to connect so easily with people in June, but also there could be new connections or new relationships. I do feel that there's a bit of a blockage of people who have been in your life for a long time, but where that blockage exists, there might be a lot of new people that you don't even know too well that you can easily access. So try to just watch out for being too rigid about things. Again, it's not really in your sign's nature to be very rigid or very demanding about a certain reality, but you know, all of your transits in Gemini this season are quincunxing the Capricorn energy, so we've talked about that, and it's not easy. So yeah, your season might not be the easiest, but it could also be very liberating, and it could also be so empowering, you know, if you just trust yourself and if you're not afraid of just spending time with yourself, you know, alone in a room or without the you know, chatter of other people. This can be a little bit scary for some Geminis to not have the chatter or to not have the reminders of certain aspects of themselves by dialogue with others. So really great for you, Gemini, just to take some time alone and understand what your creative force is wanting of you. Is your creative force channeling through other people? Not for all Geminis, but some Geminis who are kind of struggling more right now might see that they are requiring other people to be present, or requiring even like obsessing over certain other people just to see themselves and just to see their own efforts and actions. So on that note, let's go ahead and get into the week to week, because the first week of June is solving that really specifically for you. You have Ace of Wands rooted down by Temperance. So beautiful, beautiful energy coming in for you there, Gemini. You are really detaching from any unhealthy version of muse, or detaching from pain cycles with other people that turn into creativity. You've got all the creativity that you need with Ace of Wands and Temperance together, and your creativity is really wanting to liberate you from some of these old binding experiences. Your energy feels very bound to me in the past, not necessarily right then, but it feels like you're coming from something that was very binding, and you have probably liberated that by the first week of June, and that needs to be such an accomplishment for you. A lot of the time Gemini will kind of finally break through, or finally have that wake-up call, or that reality check, and do well for themselves, or accomplish something, and then it's like on to the next thing, it's on to the next huge goal, as I feel your energy to be very ambitious this year. So I would really recommend that you take the first week of June just to exhale and breathe, to finally do that creative thing you've wanted to do for a long time, and to accept that this is, becoming more of a watery experience than you even thought that it might. We're in air season, we are in Gemini season, but it feels like the Cancer season is so empowered by the Capricorn energy that Cancer season has already kind of like connected into the Gemini energy, because of course you're building up to Cancer. Cancer is your successor. It's the next sign. So do you know that what you're building up towards right now, Gemini, in June of 2020, is emotional wellness? Okay. So try to not set goals or move into certain debt traps or anything like that are going to prevent emotional wellness. I do feel that debt could be necessary for some of you, or that there is maybe a contract here or some kind of obligation just to get emotionally well, so don't confuse me. But watch out for any type of impulse, okay? Impulse buying, impulse spending, impulse dating, anything like that. Because Ace of Wands is going to make you very optimistic, and with Temperance, you could just fly off to the moon, and we are going to move into Cancer season, and it's going to be a little bit more strict. So just prepare for that and try to channel this through just an emotional sense of things being okay, knowing that you are the master of your own life, and just allowing creative solutions to old problems. You are rebalancing, you are recalibrating in the first week of June. I just love Ace of Wands and Temperance together, because it's also like the want and desire, Ace of Wands, to balance and become lighter with Temperance. They're both upright, and it's like almost destined for things to get a lot lighter for you in the first week. So second week, Knight of Pentacles rooted down by Ten of Wands. How do we also achieve these goals that you have to build wealth, or to build status, or to build career, while keeping this amount of lightness that you've stepped into? This needs to be one of the most important trains of thought for you in this month, in your time of the year, Gemini. How can I maintain this sense of lightness, and this sense of freedom, and this sense of personal power that you've definitely been granted at the beginning of the month, while being responsible enough and cautious enough? As we're moving toward Cancer season, caution is going to be very important, and not feel weighed down or inhibited by this cautious part of me that might be coming up, yet feeling light, yet growing. It's a consolidation, it's an integration, and I think you have some work to do. This could be a moving day for you. This could be this could be long shifts or lots of hours worked, and that is going to come through for you, Cancer. Through all the hours that you work during the second week of June, or through all of the things that you have to get done, that you have to move through, you will be recompensated for it. So compensation is coming through for your Cancer. I feel like gone are the days of you working for no return. Just make sure you have a return coming. Are you watch out for doing types of work or expensive mind maneuvers that bring no return. That, I think, has been a big issue for you. Not for every Gemini, but those Geminis that we've been talking about who've been struggling a little bit more, the mind is working overtime, and there's not really a lot of payment or reward or recompense coming for that. So you have fixed that by the first week of June. And if there's anything, Gemini, as you move into the third week with Page of Pentacles rooted down by Six of Swords reversed, if there's anything that you're really involved in or attached to that deals with what do I want to say? Trying to affect other people, or trying to cause an impact to other people or something, that's going to really dissolve, okay? This is not really a time where Gemini impacts other people or affects other people. It's so personalized as we've hit Cancer season during the third week of June. So it's so important for Gemini to somewhat keep to themselves and work on building themselves. And watch out for building other people too much. People might rely on you, or people might need you for something. And that happens a lot in Cancer season, you know, especially family types of requests or needs. But I think, Gemini, that you've got to keep it to yourself. And watch out also for people who are trying to just hold on to some abundance that you have, and also watch out for grasping onto other people as well. The Six of Swords reversed can feel a bit clingy. It can feel a bit like someone or something is very emotionally draining, or something is like dying for a change or dying for a transition, but it's like staying in the mind and it's not, you know, manifesting. You've got to really know what you need to change, and watch out for other people trying to jump onto that or grasp onto that. Or also watch out for assuming of other people too, or assuming that you might know exactly what somebody else needs, or trying to fix other people. I could kind of feel that for some Geminis too. Again, keep it very self-focused, Gemini. Keep the focus on yourself. And this is not for all Geminis, but some Geminis can kind of be a little bit over-focused on others right now, to try to understand themselves, because again, a Gemini is a mirroring sign, so it needs that social interaction to grow karmically and to understand its like own placement and be aware of itself, but not right now, okay? That's kind of really shifting up in the Gemini archetype, where Gemini, as we're especially getting into Cancer season, and this is more of a seasonal thing than this is like permanent to a Gemini, but so important, Gemini, that you keep to yourself to some degree, that you keep within the confines of yourself, because I see that the influence of others, or the attempt to you know, really cause something for other people, is just not really where it's at. Again, with the Capricorn energy of the year, Cancer season coming on, a Gemini type of influence right now in the sphere of something very outside of themselves could just be seen as an annoyance. So it's important to know what you need to do for yourself, and important to know what you need to really cultivate within you, because you have something that we all like desperately need. And this is the thing, it's kind of like, I hate to say it's like the cocoon time for Gemini, because we say that all the time, but it really is. Like, you guys are nourishing and developing something within, and that takes a certain like inward focus, right? And you're an extroverted sign a lot of the time, but it's just not really extroverted mode for you, not in Cancer season. Now Leo season will be different. You guys can really like have a nice like burst of energy and a nice like popularity there, but you guys have work to do, just like everybody, okay? Not even just Gemini, but we all have work to do, okay? We all have work to do during this time. So week number 4, you have 8 of Swords reversed, rooted down by 4 of Wands. So yeah, you don't want to confine and trap yourself in order to celebrate, or in order to feel like you are seen and as a certain way, okay? So if you can kind of see the 8 of Swords reversed, and then you see the 4 of Wands, how different and how opposite those energies are. And interestingly, in our current culture, a lot of people use 8 of Swords as a part of the formula to getting toward 4 of Wands, because 8 of Swords is about confining and trapping yourself. You know, for example, you buy the most incredible sports car and it's beautiful and you're popular, but you're trapped in like 8 years of debt because of it, and now you can't even afford to like clothe your children or something properly because of that debt. But look at how you're seen with 4 of Wands. It's very popular, and at the same time you're at the stoplight and nobody actually really cares. Things like this we've got to really get past, Gemini. You know, things like Yeah. And that's not even just you guys, but it's Gemini season also in June. So we're all kind of going through this. I mean, this reading would probably resonate for everybody. So you got to really watch out for appearances and how much you think that other people care, like strangers. I'm talking strangers, like how much, like there's something dealing with strangers and acquaintances for Gemini this month where more emphasis than is needed might be placed, okay, on the thoughts of strangers or on the thoughts of people who do not have any of the debt to pay, you know? So, your status in society, things like that, I wouldn't worry too much about it, Gemini. I think that your personality and your kindness to other people that you really offer, you know, the communicative availability of a Gemini is priceless at this time. You know, you guys are there. Even in my own life, like it's the Gemini people in my own life that are like in my personal life who are there and who have been so like pricelessly loyal and available, and that's very interesting to see how much you're there. But are you giving it back to yourself, and is anybody taking advantage of that? You know, you want to watch out for people who take advantage, and also for trying to overcompensate in your appearance to people that you don't know, because there might just be a pain about the most personal of contacts in your life being very overbearing and overdraining, and maybe a bit of a unconscious desperation to appeal to people that you don't know in hopes that you can get away from these people who are overbearing and draining and attract in new people who are not. So we've got to look a certain way to attract in new people. So there's a debt trap there potentially. This is how the Capricorn energy is playing in for a Gemini. So the way to thrive this month, Gemini, is just keep it light, keep it simple, keep it plain. Know your needs. You know, if you've got to have like a car or a new place or something like that might be a necessity, and we sometimes have to go into debt to achieve those things. But if it's not necessary, okay, if it's just for appearances, that could become a trap. All right, your most lucky and best achievement this month is your creative lightness, okay? Transcending some amount of heavy, dark energy into a space where time is allowed for creative capacity. So you want to watch out for debt traps, yes, but the creative capacity sometimes comes at a cost as well. So it's just about the balance. It's about knowing what your needs are and about knowing how you can accomplish that and not cheap it out and deny yourself your needs, but also not go over the top and create something that's too expensive either energetically. So I think you guys will find the middle ground, and I think that your energy is awesome this year. This year's Gemini season is a touch more heavier than other ones just because of the other transits, but by the time we get to Leo season, for sure, I see you guys really having just a great, wonderful time. So anyway, thank you so much for being here, Geminis. I am putting together an extended reading over on Patreon if you would like to check it out. We'll be diving into a central theme as well as 2 supporting themes to see what's coming up for you and see how you are developing further beyond this. So yeah, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't yet. I post readings every month, and I do videos every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. There's a lot of great content here, and I've been so happy to facilitate it. So hit that subscribe button and the bell button, as well as the like button to get the video out there. And I've got a few links in the description box as well. I have an ebook called Moon Symbols where you can learn more about your emotional healing through the moon. And without further ado, Geminis, let's check out your extended reading over on Patreon. I'll link it below, as well as in the center of the video right now. So let's jump over to Patreon. I will see you guys later. Much love. Bye.